Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Wednesday, October the 31st. It's Halloween. And we've got our own scary guy here, Larry Brown. Good to have you here, Larry Brown.
Good to be here.
Yeah, now you have a Halloween story, but you said it's more of a Twilight Zone?
It's a strange story.
Okay, so on this Halloween, Larry Brown with a Halloween / Twilight Zone story.
I had the opportunity in January of this year to teach in southern India, the 3 southern states, 3 different colleges, and then I had a few days left over to spend some time with friends in Bengaluru, which used to be called Bangalore. And so I had taken the night train from Tiruvalla in the state of Kerala over to Bengaluru. And I don't know if you've ridden an Indian train at night in the passenger compartment, you kind of share it with 6 other people and you turn your seats into beds and they bring you pillows and so on. And we'd all tucked in and I woke up in the night to the movement of people. They were packing up gears and I thought I heard the announcement that we were arriving at Majestic Station in Bengaluru. And I thought I was getting there in the daytime, but it was like the middle of the night. I thought, well, I must have been confused about my schedule, and I went ahead, and packed up and stepped down on the platform. Well, I had arranged to have a ride take me to where I was staying, and there was no one there at the platform meeting me. And so I went over the tracks to the main station, and there was no one there, expecting to have someone there holding a little sign with Dr. Brown, and it was not there. And went through the station out to the street. No one was there. And my cell phone wasn't working in India, so I couldn't make contact that way. And I noticed that everything was shutting down at the station. The vendors were closing up shop. Passengers were leaving, even the station itself. The next thing you know, I was alone, dark, there on the street by the station. Well, I thought maybe I could find another street and a taxi, but just at that moment, a little black car pulled up, and a man stepped out and said, "Dr. Brown?" And yes, he says, "I'm sorry to be late," and he took my luggage, put it in the trunk, in the back seat, offered me some water, and we drove off, and I felt so groggy and sleepy, almost a kind of a drugged sort of experience, and I wasn't paying much attention. I expected to see the city lights and the busy streets, but as I kind of looked out the window, it was dark like we were in the countryside, and I asked the driver, and he said, "Oh, we're avoiding traffic. It won't be long. We'll be there." But then I kind of dozed off again. Next time I awoke, I looked out, and I happened to spot a sign that said Chikbalapur. And that was a little village that I knew was 50 to 60 kilometers from Bangalore, and yet I was so dozed and I couldn't really focus. And then I woke up again and realized that we were going up a mountain road, curvy, and with the moonlight, I knew where we were. We were going up to the Nandi Hills, which is 50 to 60 kilometers north of Bengaluru. And then we were at the top of the mountain. This is a granite batholith about a mile high, a place of historic forts and temples. And we got to the top, and 2 soldiers came, pulled me out of the car. But soldiers not like I'd seen before, as if I'd stepped into some sort of historic reenactment. They had pantaloons and jackets and turbans and long rifles, and I was just lifted and carried, and I was so drugged I couldn't do anything about it, and I was led past the temple over to the brow of this granite cliff, knowing that historically often rulers would throw their enemies off this cliff, and I was surrounded by soldiers, and I noticed that some of them had rocket-propelled spears, which I knew happened in India late in the 18th century. And there was a little kid that came to my side, and he was speaking to me in English. I wasn't understanding anything that was going on. And he said, "You're about to meet Tipu Sultan." And I go, "Tipu Sultan?" I was looking back and thinking about, he and his father had resisted the British in several wars. He was called the Tiger of Mysore, known for his ruthlessness, using French tactics in fighting off the British. And the little kid said to me, "You're being accused of being a spy for Cornwallis." I go, "Cornwallis? Cornwallis, after he was defeated by the Americans, went to India to be in charge of the India Company military, and I realized I was in the middle of the Third Mysore War, October of 1791, as Cornwallis was sieging the Nandi Hills, and now I was to be killed as a spy. I was taken to the edge of the cliff and helpless to do anything about it, when they were whispering. And then it got quiet, and an old man with long hair and beard kind of shuffled his way up to me and tapped me on the shoulder. And the little kid who was translating said, "He's the yogi. He's in charge of the Nageshwara temple and protecting it. And he's called you." And the soldier stepped aside, and I leaned on the old man with the kid, and he took me back into the temple, down several layers into the candle-lit rooms, and there he pushed on me to make me kneel, and he poured water over my head and mumbled something, but the little kid was still at my side, who said, "He wants you to go. There is a passageway, steps, and an entryway. You can make your escape." And I stood up still dazed, but by the candlelight I found my way down through that passageway and the steps, and as I came out somewhere below the cliff, the dawn was happening. The sunlight fell upon my face, and I awoke. I was on the train. I was hearing the call for Majestic Station, and I packed up my gear and stepped out on the platform, and there were my friends who were greeting me, and they said, "After some breakfast, we've got a day planned for you. We're going to visit the Nandi Hills." And I said, "I think I know the Nandi Hills."
Is this a true story?
It's a story, Paul.
Oh, you had me going there. Well, okay, you were in India.
I was in India, that's true.
Did you have that dream?
No. Now we're ruining it.
You really had me
ruining it for everyone.
No, my goodness, that is a great story.
Oh, the history's true. I mean, Cornwallis did fight against Tipu Sultan in the Third Mysore War, and indeed the siege of the fortress.
You gave me, as the Hawaiians say, chicken skin, goosebumps. You gave me goosebumps. That was a wonderful story.
Good, but I escaped.
Yes, I see you did. Okay, but you woke up on the train, and it was all a dream.
Well, that's often a ploy of stories.
That's very good.
I
enjoyed. I think that's one of your best stories that you've told on here. I think it's one of the best ones.
And that was the Radio Friends condensed version.
Oh, okay. Well, if you want more stories and songs from Larry Brown, you can go to his website, and actually you can book Larry to come and perform for you or your group or organization.
Any season, not just Halloween.
Right. How do they get in touch with you?
Brownstory at hotmail.com.
Brownstory at hotmail.com. You need to come. You're coming back again for Thanksgiving, aren't you?
Of course.
Right. But we won't have a scary story like that. That was a good one, Larry.
Well, thank you, Paul.
Something you'd like to hear or see, I'd love to hear from you. Just drop me an email. That's pepperp@missouri.edu. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about money with Alex LeBrunery. See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.